I'm Lizzie Williams, and this is my freshman Southern Connections final video. So they asked us to do a video to talk to future freshmen about things that they should know, and the way that Southern's impacted my life. And I'm really excited to share that with you guys. I hope that it's helpful. So a recap of my first semester is it's been a very big adjustment. Just because I didn't go to an academy that had I went to a boarding academy, but I didn't dorm. So getting used to living in the dorm and getting used to going to the caf for all my meals and doing all my laundry and not having mom to tell me like, hey, you know, if you need me to throw this in, I can throw this in for you, or not having mom to like cook my meals and stuff like that, and trying to find a healthy balance with all of that stuff. My weekend activities have really been something that's really helped me get through this, just because of the friends that I've made through them. A lot of weekends I've gone camping, or I've hung out on campus with some awesome friends, or I've recently got into climbing and like backpacking and stuff like that, but mostly climbing, which is awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to you because it's a good way to stay active and stay fit. And I think that that's something that's really important, especially getting you through here at Southern, especially your first semester, just to get you out of your head. And that's the way that I've found to do that. And so on the weekends here, it's really alive. Like, there's always some really awesome essay events that you can always go to, and they're super fun. I would definitely recommend it to you. So yeah, I've made a lot of really good friends, and I think that I expected to, because I worked at a summer camp, Colorado Springs Youth Camp, and in doing so I met a lot of people, and a lot of those people are my best friends, and they're mostly here at Southern. And it's really great because we can get together and we can talk about camp, and we can talk about how we wish to impact lives next summer as well as now, and just how we can live out for Christ. And it's really great to have that super supportive group of friends that are there for you no matter what, especially when things are hard and things get difficult, because they do. Life is crazy if you haven't figured that out yet. So it's nice to have that support, and that's something that's really important. So I would definitely recommend that. Finding a really solid group of friends your first semester is really, really important. Church activities, I really like going to the Vespers program. It's really nice to go and just be able to welcome in the Sabbath with a group of peers, and like just sitting next to people that you may not know, and having that opportunity to get to know people and get to meet new people in a worship setting is really, really cool, just because it's such a big thing and it's such a big deal. Also, I really like that at Southern, like in the Collegedale area, there's a lot of different churches that you can go and try out. So if you're coming from an area where there's only one church that you could go to and it was super conservative, you can go somewhere here that's a lot more liberal. Or if you went to someplace liberal and you'd like to try something more traditional and conservative, you have that option. And so it's just a matter of going to different churches and finding out what you like and what works best for you and your worship style. And I think that's something that's really, really cool. There's also a lot of opportunities to grow spiritually here, and something that I'm very passionate about is music and worship. And I'm in a band that will go and play in some local churches, and I think that that's something that's really helped me grow spiritually this year, is just being with those really good friends and being able to worship and come together and be able to go and witness to the community with that. And it's something that I was involved in high school. So if you came from a school that had a praise band program, it's not over. Like, you definitely have that opportunity to continue it here, but you don't have Mark Torsney telling you, hey, it's time to practice. So that's something that you definitely have to learn on your own, and it's super valuable, and it's really cool to be able to bring the skills that you learned in high school and apply them here without somebody holding your hand through it. So in classes, I've taken some difficult classes, but I've taken some easier classes too, which is what I think that a lot of freshmen do. So my advice for classes is just make sure that you're making time to study, and making sure that you're making time to really understand the material, because it's easy to look over it and read it and be like, oh, okay, I know what this is talking about, I got this, and then get to a quiz or a test and be like, oh, I'm just kidding, I don't. So I guess just really understanding how to study and how studying works best for you, and that's been something that I've learned a lot this semester, is just reading it isn't enough. Like, you have to really just go through and apply it and draw diagrams and draw maps and do things that work with your brain. And so that's something that I would say to do. Also, don't overload yourself your first semester. I know you have like 4 years to get through, and so you're trying to double up and get all of your stuff done, so that way the last few years can be a little bit easier. At least that's what some people do. I'm not saying that's what you're gonna do, but I would advise not to do that, because your first semester is such an adjustment period. So I think that it's really important just to lay back and be able to become acquainted with Southern and become acquainted with college life. My biggest struggle, I think, was time management and just figuring out how to fit everything in and how to use my 24 hours to the best of my ability. And I don't think that I've conquered that yet. That's something I'm still tweaking with and still trying to make better. And I think that just comes from finding a time, like a course schedule that you like. So if you're not a morning person, don't take an 8 a.m. If you are a morning person, I'm a morning person, so I try to get all my classes done before noon. That way I have the afternoon to study, hang out, decompress, do what I need to do to be okay and be able to be my best self for my classes. So that's something I would suggest. I use the library quite a bit. I really like it. I think I found it very helpful. There's study rooms that you can go to, which is like kind of a distraction-free zone. They have whiteboards in there so you can get up and draw if you need to for like a certain class, if you need to draw diagrams. Also, it's a really great way if you have like guys or girl, like if you have mixed company that you like to study with, you can study with them there in a quieter setting than just the collaborative floor. So that's something that I've also found very, very helpful here at Southern. I have changed, I think, quite a bit. Just, I guess, learning myself and growing. I've learned a lot about myself since being here, especially because I've been on my own. Which, I mean, I'm not saying like I don't ever call or see my parents. Don't call your parents. It's a good idea. But you're not under their roof anymore, and you're not under like an academy's roof either, where they're super strict and they're telling you what time to go to bed. And I've definitely learned a lot about myself and who I am as a person, things I like and things that I don't like. And so I think that that's something really cool that you're going to get to experience. I've grown spiritually just because there's so many opportunities, and I guess I realized once I got to college I can't do this all on my own. There's no way to do it on your own. You can't. Even with your friends and stuff like that, your friends are great and they're great support, but they can't fix your brokenness. Only God can do that. And so that's something that you definitely will learn if you choose to, and that's something that I've learned, is that I have to completely rely on God, and making time for Him is so important. And I think that that's a way that I've grown spiritually as well. Future freshmen, just enjoy it. Just sit back and enjoy the ride. Don't overload yourself. Everything's going to be okay. You're going to make it through. It's not as scary as you think it's going to be. You're going to be all right. Just take a deep breath, just breathe, and then just jump in. You're going to be okay. It's all going to be all right. You've got it. And so I guess that's what I would say, and that's what my freshman year has been like. So see you later.